What's up, guys? Welcome to At Home Fitness with Coach A. I am Coach A, and this is the YouTube channel that aims to bring you guys in-gym quality coaching and programming for your at-home or garage gym needs. Now, if you guys can hear that, as we're filming this, it is a beautifully rainy day here in Cleveland, Ohio. It's almost November. It's pretty much what we're looking at from this point forward, right? It's just going to get colder to the point where it can't rain. So we're going to do the best we can. Light's a little different here. Sorry if your eyes have to adjust to that a little bit. But new phone, better vision, should all work together. So let's get to today's day number 228 workout. We're going to have our second little strength cycle, improvement cycle piece going forward here. As you guys can see over my right shoulder there, this is going to be the first week of that. It is an RDL. We're looking at barbell here. We're going to program this. Let me see if I can find a way of giving you guys a picture without a shadow. There we go. We're going to program this with a barbell. Now, if you guys stick around for the modifications at the end of the video or just kind of scroll ahead there, you'll see all the different modification options for this, but I'm going to explain it and program it as such. So we're going to go 5 rounds, 8 to 12 reps with our barbell, a minute and a half rest in between, making sure we're not going on the minute and a half, guys. We are actually getting a full minute and a half of rest. This should be a very aggressive hamstring movement. Thus, rest is going to be important if we're looking at something that we're really maxing out the weight in that 8 to 12 range. That should be a very fatiguing set 5 times through. Now, the workout piece is basically just going to involve a plate. So if you guys have the plates for the bar, you will have the plate for the workout. You're only going to go for 8 minutes. We should have a lot of leftover hamstring fatigue, stiffness, possibly lack of explosiveness as another way you could probably look at that from the lift. So I don't want you guys to go for too long, but we're going to try and go pretty hard in the time that we are going to be working out for. So 8-minute AMRAP, you're going to do 2, 4, and 6, etc., etc., etc. on all the movements. So as you guys will see in the demonstration video, the plate ground to overhead will be 2 total reps. All right, that's going to be both hands on the plate, so that'll make a ton of sense. The overhead lunge for 2 is going to be 1 and 2, right and left. So you're going to count every lunge step as 1, and then same thing with that Russian twist. Every time you guys tap, whether it's right or left, it's going to count as 1. So on the round of 2, it's going to be ground up 1, ground up 2, lunge right 1, lunge left 2, tap right 1, tap left 2. All right, and then as you can see here at the bottom, the RX weight for this workout is going to be a 45 plate for the guys and a 25 plate for the ladies, keeping in mind that those are heavy Russian twists. So make sure you guys can handle that. Don't be afraid to adjust the weight for the twist. If you need to adjust the weight for the twist, stick around if you guys want to see the movement demonstrations and modifications. All right, guys, hopping into our strength component for the day. We're looking at the Barbell RDL. I'm going to show you guys from the side here first. The focus is on hamstring work, aggressive hamstring work. So essentially what I'm trying to do here is attack the bottom of the hamstrings. Feet are staying flat. The bottom of the butt is pushing straight back as far as it'll go. As soon as I feel that stretch, which should be a pretty aggressive stretch in the bottom part of the hamstrings just above the knee, I'm going to attempt to use that as potential energy, drive the knees straight, squeeze the glutes forward, and push into the ground to create my hip extension from that position. Now, if we're somebody that's going to be hitting the ground because we have a lot of hamstring flexibility, this is one thing we can do about that is take the feet a little bit wider. Still the same kind of focus. The hands are obviously just inside the knees here. Not optimal, not ideal. You guys can always stand on plates to make a deficit, but an option. Alright guys, for the workout today, I might be looking at some new movements here, depending when you jumped on the At Home Fitness with Coach A bandwagon. The first one here is going to be that plate ground to overhead. You're going to notice that I'm going to angle the plate down, turn it over, and punch the fist overhead. Hip extension is the key on that piece. The overhead lunge, we're looking at 1, 2, locking that plate out overhead. Then we're dropping down to the ground for 1 and 2 Russian twists. Obviously, pretty quick round in the beginning. What I want you guys to notice on the plate ground overhead, feet are pushing down, glutes are squeezing to snap the legs to extension with the hamstring push, and that is carrying that plate up overhead for a finishing punch. Now, when we're in the lunge position, we're looking for 90-degree angles, stepping back. Again, arms and shoulders are stacked on top of each other. And then we are back down for some Russian twist, counting every tap. Feet are off the ground, under control on the rotations. Stay tuned for movement modifications. All right, guys, let's talk modifications. We're going to start first with that RDL position. So if you guys have dumbbells, if you have kettlebells, obviously there is a limitation to weight for those things. It might be even more evident than the obvious limitation there could be to a barbell weight. So theoretically, here's what we're going to look at. The movement's essentially the same, right? I'm holding one or two weights in front of the knees or in front of and between the knees. I can take a bar, put it on my back for a good morning, something along those lines. I can do that, but I would rather see you do it as an RDL. And so I programmed it that, so that there's a little less of a chance that you're gonna get in a bad position posturally, meaning rolling over, arching over. There's less of a variable there of having that bar on the back of your shoulders pressing into your neck, causing you to hunch a little bit. If we don't have the kind of weight that we can utilize to get to a heavy set of 8 to 12 reps on the RDL, then I want you guys to work on tempoing the reps first of all. That's one of our options, is to take those weights 1, 2, 3, 4, push back through. Maybe even doing a second hold at the bottom on that eccentric. That's going to create more of a stimulus. That's going to give us more function there. Another option is to take it and create time, and we're going to keep working through for time. Another option is to go for like a max effort type of set, right? So if I have maybe only 25-pound dumbbells, I'm working my way through. I might get to like 20 reps before I get really fatigued. If you're going to go that route, I'd rather you stay with that mindset of max effort -1, so you're not deteriorating in your mechanics as much as you could if you were looking for a true max effort set. If we don't have any weights, we can still do stuff here with bands. So if I want, I can loop the band under both feet, hold on to it on the side here, start at the top of my deadlift position, push back into the hamstrings until I feel the pull, and then push through it just like if I'm doing the actual reps with a barbell. I can also take that band, and this is more your call, let's say. I'm not as concerned with the band if we're going to a good morning versus an RDL, because with the band, it's gonna be easier to hold yourself in a good tension position as opposed to having heavier weight on your back and pressing down into those shoulder blades a little bit, especially pressing into the vertebrae in the upper back. Now, for the workout, if we don't have the plate, you guys have kettlebells, you have dumbbells, something along those lines, it's gonna be a pretty easy transition. We're gonna go dumbbell snatches, 1, 2, set the reps based on the weight. If you guys are looking at something super light like this, I'm probably gonna go 1, 1, 2, 2. If it's something heavier in the 35 to 50 range, then it's probably gonna be a 1 and then a 2 on that left side. So I'm gonna count each side. In terms of the overhead lunge, if it is possible, if you guys have 2, obviously try and give it a shot with 2. If you only have 1, see if you can hold it up there. There is an overhead component to that lunge that's going to be important in this workout. If we can't do that, or we can't do it well enough to make it safe, then go ahead and hold it in the goblet position, go into your lunges from there. If these aren't super light dumbbells, like for example, this one's 8 pounds, if we're looking at like something in the, super heavy range, just like with the plates, if you guys don't want to go with them in the Russian twist, you don't need the weight. If you do have a light weight, it's going to be pretty much the same thing as a plate. If you guys have a wall ball or a slam ball or something along those lines, that's a pretty good tool to use here. I wouldn't get incredibly creative. If you have some kind of weight, you can always hold it and do your rotations, but let's not try and translate that to a band, or maybe even trying to hold a barbell and swimming in that circumstance.